Today, I'm going to show you guys how to add extra performance to your mountain bike fork that hardly anyone knows about.
I miss you.
So what we are going to be doing is called burnishing. So for those of you that don't know what burnishing is where you take a big round die and you push it through the bushings on your fork. And you guys might be asking, why would you do this? So sad to say, not all forks have round bushings from the factory. I know, we're paying all this money and we don't even get full performance out of the fork without having to work on it ourselves. But this is most things in mountain biking, so nothing new here. So basically what burnishing is trying to achieve is adding less stiction to the fork.
We have the lowers cleaned, prepped and ready. Just put a little light lick of oil. Sort of, okay. Can still go a little further. There is a little bit of tightness in it. It's not the worst I've felt, but there's certainly friction right there.
And the reason you want less stiction is for small bump sensitivity. Small bump sensitivity is those small, tiny, repetitive hits that you see on almost all mountain bike trails. And not just that, it also helps a ton with braking. So the reason it helps with braking is that the fork flexes throughout braking and adds more stiction. So having those bushings fully round keeps the fork being able to move throughout the travel, even under braking. Even without your fork being burnished, the fork still moves. It's not like it's totally sticking, but it's sticking where you're going to notice it. And so burnishing helps solve that. So with my fork specifically, as you guys can see here,
okay, got the tool, and literally we're just going to put them through each side, see how equal they are. Okay, here we go. Okay, easy. Easy. That's about perfect. Easy. Easy. Okay, 0.04. It's actually not too bad.
Here, Matt said that my fork bushings were actually pretty good from the factory. So we actually increased my bushing size by a little bit to add even more small bump sensitivity, also known as less stiction.
We will jump up one more size. Okay, I'm not really fighting with that. It's pretty good. Very good position. Whatever dirt comes off now is at best some material from the bushing, but really this isn't cutting away material. This is just, it's being pressed in, so it's if anything, it's squeezing that bushing back and compressing it within. Now, if I really wanted to make this fork really special in terms of how easy it just glides through, I could step up to a 0.1 or even 0.13. But I would only recommend that as a race day only fork, not for training, not for practicing, not for just, whatever, jumping and all the rest of it. That would just be a separate fork that you have to put on for the race day, and it will always be perfect. This doesn't need it. This is Austin's everyday bike actually, so
for those of you that don't want to spend the money on the burnishing tool, which is totally understandable considering it is very, very expensive. If you guys are in the San Francisco Bay Area, my buddy Matt at Vincent Speedworks does this all for a really good rate. He doesn't even just do burnishing, he also does all kinds of suspension service, from simple stuff to all the way up to pro level stuff. So if you guys are looking to have your fork serviced, either the lowers or maybe even damper services or any of that, and he also even gets into tuning with different weights of oil, so definitely check him out down below. I will have his website linked down there. He does some amazing work, and if you guys are not local, just hit him up on Instagram or on his website, and maybe he'll even consider doing stuff throughout the United States. He does amazing work, so be sure to check him out down below. Now we'll get into what my first ride impressions were on this fork. Hint, It was amazing. So now let's get into my first ride impressions. So on my first run of the trail, I felt it instantly. The front end traction was insane, and not just that, under braking, it felt amazing. My feet were more planted than they've ever been, and as you guys can see in the video, this track is chunky and it's got lots of repetitive hits, perfect for testing this fork. I felt like I was flying down this trail, and not just that, I felt like my control was at an all-time high on this trail. So I gotta say, this made a huge difference in terms of fork performance. So one thing I just wanted to note here real quick before you guys go out and burnish your bushings. If you do oversize the bushings, one thing to consider is you might have to add oil periodically. The reason for this is that the forks now are not riding completely on the bushings, and so you're going to need to add oil to keep those lubricated. But the performance outweighs that little con, and so I would say it was a win. And not just that, you also have to do lower leg services every 50 hours, or you should at least. And so it's not like you're going to have to add oil other than doing services. Again, this also depends on how oversized you go. I only went one, so I might not even ever have to add oil to it. But if you go up 2 notches, or even 3, you might need to start adding oil, otherwise the fork will start knocking. So on the second run, I can't say too much because I ended up getting used to how it felt. But that first run felt amazing, and it's been feeling great ever since. The fork's small bump sensitivity is crazy. If you take and kind of stand on it, or even just pushing it down with your hands, you can feel there's like very little stiction. Most of the stiction's in the wiper seals now, instead of the bushings. So it just overall feels amazing. And for 30 bucks, which is what he charged to do the burnishing, it was 100% worth it. If you guys need a lower leg surface anyway, just have him do that, and he can do the lower leg service, and he can also do the burnishing for a total of, I think it was like 125 bucks, but check his website down below for the rates. So there you guys have it. I think I covered pretty much everything with this fork. This is great for somebody that wants to take their fork's performance to a new level. If you guys did enjoy this video, please smash that like button down below. I'm gonna have a video coming up on the overly popularized O-chain. So if you guys want even more added performance in your rear suspension, then be sure to smash that subscribe button down below so you don't miss that video. It's gonna be pretty epic. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.